Words can't express the horror of the murder of George Floyd by 4 Minneapolis police officers. While all have been indicted, all will likely be free in a few years. Even if they had all been convicted and sentenced to death or life in prison, this wouldn't begin to solve police brutality or the much larger issue of racism in America. This is because racism is a much deeper ingrained systemic problem. Saying it's an entrenched issue that's impossible to solve, however, is the easy way out. While a complete solution is far from easy, now is the time to take concrete steps in addressing racism in America once and for all. I'm Taha Arras, and I'll tell you how in brief. 100 years passed from the abolition of slavery to the criminalization of racism with the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In the interim, Black Americans faced every type of injustice imaginable. Through these injustices, African Americans were deprived of the same opportunities most white Americans enjoyed. 60 years later, and Black Americans are still subject to institutional racism. So what's the solution to addressing centuries of negative discrimination? Equality is no longer enough. We need positive discrimination. Affirmative action in college admissions was a good step, but it's been chipped away by the courts and doesn't go nearly far enough in making up for centuries of slavery and racial inequality. The only way America can begin to atone for the sins of the Founding Fathers and the British in America before them is to begin to level the playing field between the races. While no amount of money can make up for the horrors of slavery, actual damages need to be awarded to the estates of slaves, their descendants, just as they would in any wage theft case. Reparations to pay for these stolen wages, plus punitive damages, need to be paid by the government. Furthermore, society needs to accept that positive discrimination must continue until being born Black in America is no longer a life sentence. Short of these steps, and racism will survive for generations, with George Floyd being forgotten as just another face in a sea of millions of victims.